Hello dancers. We're going to do a little work today seated and standing. So I've got a chair with a taller back so that when we rise up to standing, we can use the back as our ballet bar and work from here. If you're comfortable using a wall rather than the back of a chair as your balance point, when you're standing, that's great. So whatever feels most comfortable, secure, steady, and stable for you is great. We're gonna start seated, do a little improv to get ourselves warmed up. Michael and I were out hiking yesterday through Sycamore Creek, which was just gorgeous, and the arrival of spring was making itself known. So we spent a lot of time at Creekside enjoying all the delights and wonders. So I thought I would share some of that with you today through exploring the creek. So let's get ourselves comfortable here at Creekside. So find a nice seat that feels stable and supportive of you, that you've got a little space around your feet, because you really want to be able to lean forward and just dangle your fingers in the water of the creek. Just create a few little tracings. Let your hand come up and just let the water driplets travel down. Shift side to side, just letting your hand kind of find some circular fluid motions. Letting it just create some tracings, maybe a little finger in the water, maybe a little flick, a little splash, a little smoothing. And with your other hand, just let those droplets travel upward and down. Once more, just scooping up some water, let the droplets just travel through the space of your fingers, other hand. And once with both hands. Nice, 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 nice. It just calls you to want to notice the ripples that are happening through the creek. So allow yourself to ripple back and forth, side to side. So there's a shifting. Your torso is shifting. You're moving from one sits bone to another. Your rippling may be even. It may have a smooth quality to it. It may be a ripple that catches over a few rocks and finds some little edges and points that add a little bubble or white water to it. In some places, the water almost just starts to tumble over the rocks. So give it a little tumble, a little kind of rolling. Some places it becomes a little quieter, a little smoother. So let that water just make its way forward. It just finds its pathway, and that's where it travels. Occasionally it's moving between rocks, so find those places that you can almost slither your way through. There may be spots where the water bubbles over the rocks. There's a lift and a drop, a little pour over. There might be some really large boulders, and the water is making its way over and down. Big clusters of rocks with the water traveling over and down. And let's create a little cluster of piled rocks with a few little small rocks in the spaces. And then let the water just make its way through. You've gotten plenty wet at Creekside. You're going to shake off some of that water from your hands so you'll have dry hands for your picnic. Not get those sandwiches wet. And from there, just enjoy the beautiful sunshine, the sound of the water. Let your face lift towards the sun. Oh, and relax your way at Creekside. Kind of shift as you're sitting in creekside, to make sure you're on the most comfortable spot in these rocks. Some are a little better than others. Once you find that spot that you really like, just let yourself settle into it. Let your torso rise. Soften your back so you've got a little rounding through the back. Come back up to seated center. Do a little flicking of the water. Just the ends of your fingers. It just looks so good in the sunshine to see those water droplets. So a little flicking. And as you're doing all of that flicking, you notice, as you've seen the birds start to arrive, that they're getting very busy. So let one hand come in. Fingers open, thumb up. Let your other hand come across and loop your thumbs. And just let the birds fly a bit. They scoop down, they rise up.
Birds say, don't know what the birds, listen to them all day.
They pause occasionally, and then they begin again. One more time, pause. And a last flight.
The colors look the same to you.
And then releasing your hands.
You see why
Give a little shoulder roll. And let both of your arms come out to their full wingspan. And from that full wingspan, just do a little tilt on the wind current. So one arm is rising up higher, the other lower. Travel through the center, shift on the current of the air, back through the center once more and tilt in this direction, up through the center once more and tilt the other way, and through the center, let both arms soften down, then let them flap, finding their full range of motion, enjoying the wind current, the space, their bird colleagues. Pause for a moment. Do a little hover down to look what's below. Rise back up, arms settle down with a glance behind and through the center. And a glance behind the other way, through the center, and dipping the chin. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to pause the music for a moment and get ourselves set and ready to come to standing behind the chair. I'm going to tilt my chair a little bit so that you can see the movement, but you're welcome to stand directly behind the chair, face on. So from where you are, as it feels good to you, you might want to have one hand on the chair. You might want to bring your feet slightly closer together or a little more space between. In parallel, you're going to have a little lean forward and a little rise, just as those birds did from the chair. All right. So here we are, set and ready to do a little work at the bar. We're going to start in an open second position. So let's start in a first. And in first position, you've got your heels together. One foot slides out and the heel comes down. Other foot slides and the heel comes down. So I'm going to do that from my chair. And here I am pretty well centered to the chair. We're going to start with a little lean side to side. I've got both hands on the back of the chair. I'm bringing my weight over one leg, traveling through the center, shifting to the other side. We're going to work from here to reaching across and across. And then we'll do a little bit of work with some plies and some lifts and curl over, and a little work getting our feet warmed up. So here we go. From first position, I'm opening wider. Let's just change the volume a little bit there. And I'm in an open second. My shoulders are relaxed, my knees are soft, my hands are on the back of the chair. And I'm just going to start with a lean. I'm leaning, center and a lean. Side, side, side. If we're counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, center, 4, 1, 2, center, 4, and 1, 2, center, 4. So you've got that sense of your weight shifting. Now, from where you are, you're going to reach your hand across yourself, open it around, and bring it back to the chair. You're going to reach across, around, and back. Reach, around, and back. Reach, around, and back. One more time each side with a reach. Another side. And center. Now from where you are, just dip down a little bit into a little plie. Rise back up. And a little dip down. Torso is long. You're centered right through your plumb line. One more time. And as you rise, bring one foot zigzagged in. Once more the zigzag and then to parallel. Other foot is going to zigzag in. The heel comes in. The foot comes to parallel. Adjust yourself to your chair. Pick up one heel so the ball of your foot is still on the ground. And you're going to shift, 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 shift. Now both feet are going to be down. One arm is going to sweep across, lift, curl its way over, lift and down, and we're going to finish with the other arm brushing, rise to curl its way over, down it goes. From where you are, just take a nice full deep breath. Give a little fold forward as you exhale. Back to full standing, and we're going to finish with the arm brushing, rising, curling over a little C curve, getting a nice stretch through your side body, opening through the hip, lengthening, and down. That hand comes back to the bar. Other arm sweeps up, rises to curl over. Side body opens up through the whole rib case. Lengthen that arm back up. Down it goes. And lastly, a little fold forward with an exhale. Up we come with an inhale, and we'll see you next time.